right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So in this one, we're going to be doing a kind of a joint mock draft, and I'm joined by my buddy Broshmo. Dude, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. Excited to do mock drafts. Just talk draft in general, man. I'm a big draft nerd.
I know, dude. That's like all your, I love your channel, man. It's just filled with mock drafts. You have the mock series, and you've been doing that for a while now, and it's awesome. I always look forward to, all your
Just
brand new videos and stuff.
catching on to other other channels too.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
everyone's doing their own reactions to mocks.
yeah, it's cool. It's always interesting, like breaking down other guys' like ideas and whatnot, and kind of seeing where, people's heads are at. But I'll let you kick things off, man. You get the number one overall pick. We got Jacksonville on the clock here. What are you thinking?
Oh, this could be a toss up. Odds on favorite right now is Aiden Hutchinson, but I think at least in the long haul, you want to protect your investment in T Law. So I'm gonna go Evan Neal. They got Walker Little there as well. So, but Evan Neal, he's played right tackle, left tackle. So, yeah, just protect the investment.
Evan Neal, dude. Awesome, awesome. So I think for spot number two here, Detroit, I mean, it's definitely it has to be one of the two edge rushers. I think because of Aaron Glenn's system, I'm gonna go with Aiden Hutchinson. I think he's just a seamless fit. I think Detroit needs that real leader on the defensive side of the football, and they need some cornerstones as well. So Hutchinson for me.
Oh yeah, dude, hometown boy. Dude, Houston. I'm just best player available. This team just needs talent. So it's basically whoever the first two teams don't pick. So KT, Kayvon Thibodeau gets some pass rush. Their best pass rusher this past season was Jonathan Grenard. So yeah, no, they definitely need more talent than that. So going to KT.
For sure. I feel like Houston I mean, they're just in like such a perfect scenario. Like Evan Neal would be great. KT, Aiden Hutchinson, like all three of those guys would just be slam dunk, like A+ picks for Houston. Although we don't know who the head coach is going to be. So we don't know like the systems in place, but still, I mean, these guys are just so good. But with the fourth overall pick, I think it's tough. I mean, I really just as a Jet fan, really want Thibodeau to fall here, but I think I'm going to go offensive line, Ikem Ekwonu from NC State. I think he would just come in right now, be that day one starter at right tackle. We don't really know what the future holds for Morgan Moses, pending free agent. We have a lot of question marks on the offensive line right now. And then, of course, Mekhi Becton missed the entire season, outside of that week one performance against the Panthers. So for me, I think I'm going to invest in the offensive line early.
See, that one's very interesting. I always have a tough time with the Jets pick because I always get flack if I want to go Derek Stingley or Kyle Hamilton from Jets fans. Not all of them, but they're the loudest ones in there. But Kem's interesting. I always figure Charles Cross is a good fit just to that LaFleur blocking scheme, wide zone blocking scheme, opposed to like a Kem who's coming from like an inside zone. So, but I mean, then you could also like get like the Trent Williams label, one of these more stocky, explosive guys that just have that like bury you run mentality. Like, well, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking here because, I mean, Joe Douglas is kind of former offensive lineman. He came from Philadelphia. He really wants to build through the trenches. And, the entire offense is built around the run. And that's really where I feel like Ekwonu just kind of dominates. He's like he's an absolute freak in the running game. So I think you really can't go wrong either way. I just feel like at this point, at spot number 4, Ekwonu is just a tad. He's a little bit better of a prospect, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Next pick, Giants. This is easy. Their offensive line sucks. If they're gonna get if they want it, because right now what Mara is saying, hey, David Jones is our guy. We want to get an accurate evaluation of him, so we gotta rebuild the offensive line. So I'm going with Charles Cross, who I would say is the only other like top 10 offensive tackle in this class. After that, you kind of get a fall off. So I'm going to go Charles Cross.
Charles Cross. Yeah. I mean, it's a good pick. Like I like Andrew Thomas. I don't love him. Solder was just like an absolute just disappointment. I also think he's set to the open market, but next up at spot number 6, I feel like Carolina is kind of in between a rock and a hard place, to be honest. the top three tackles are off the board. I feel like that's really like their biggest, need outside of quarterback. But I kind of feel like Carolina is going to be one of those teams that's interested in a Deshaun Watson, a Russell Wilson, who knows, maybe an Aaron Rodgers or something like that. You never know. And I also feel like Carolina will pull the trigger. Like they're not going to be waiting around like low balling teams. But I think for the sake of this mock draft, and of course it only just being, mid-January, I'm going to go quarterback here, and I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett.
I was gonna say, who's your QB1?
Honestly, though, like I don't think Kenny Pickett's the number one quarterback in this class. And I think when it's all said and done, it's probably going to be Malik Willis. But I'm a big Carson Strong fan. But I think just right now, just mid-January, Pickett's like I would say the consensus quarterback one, if you talk to a lot of people. So I think for me, it's a little high, but again, Carolina, like, what are you really going to do? Like invest in another corner? I don't know. Like they don't really need help on the defensive line. Like it's just a tough selection.
Yeah, if you honestly believe that like Pickett's better than what you already have at quarterback, then pull the trigger,
100%. Yeah.
New York Giants. Okay, so this pick's always interesting because I'm like, do I double dip offensive line? Because I love Tyler Linderbaum. I'm a huge Tyler Linderbaum guy. But it's like, their pass rush is pretty bad too. That's an area they can address. Maybe linebacker, but positional value, I'd rather stick with edge at that point. Kyle Hamilton's always a thought too. But I think I like the idea of double dipping. It really sounded like that they want to give Josh Allen more talent, or Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I wish they had Josh Allen. But yeah, give him an actual shot. So just double dipping on the offensive line. If you get lucky, you hit with both these guys. You're probably gonna at least hit with one. So yeah, Tyler Linderbaum all the way, baby.
Linderbaum, dude, he's a beast. I'm really hoping he's there for the New York Jets at spot number 10. But yeah, next up, spot number 8, Atlanta Falcons. I'm gonna go with Derek Stingley here because I really like the thought of AJ Terrell as cornerback 1 being paired with Derek Stingley, another potential cornerback 1. The injuries are also pretty scary though. That's really the only big red flag. But man, if this guy could come in and be, put up the same production that he did back year 1 with LSU as a freshman, just godly numbers, just absolutely insane. I think the Falcons would definitely benefit from that. And then I also really like Dean Pease at DC. I mean, 2 young cornerback. You can make an argument that would be the best young cornerback duo in football. I would think, like, you can make that argument. So for me, it's Derek Stingley.
Oh yeah, for a guy that likes to like go cover 1, cover 0, getting those press man coverage guys, super ideal. Denver, I assume they're not going to have this pick. They're probably going to trade it for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, right.
Or at least some quarterback of some sort. So I'm just going to go with the quarterback with this pick. I'm actually going to go with my QB1 and Sam Howell. I'm a big Sam Howell guy. I think he has the best touch on any deep ball in this class. I don't think the Baker Mayfield comparisons are fair. Because Baker, he throws lasers, man. Not Howell, man. Howell's got touch.
Yeah, that's true. And I really, really like that part of Howell's game, but I'm actually not really that high on Howell. I think he's a little too short for the position. I don't really feel like he can hang in the pocket at the NFL level. I mean, I could definitely be wrong here, but be able to hang in, go through his reads consistently, and be able just to throw darts. You kind of like Baker Mayfield, right? Especially year 1. But I just don't know if Howell has the that number one, the pocket, like being able to hang in the in an NFL pocket and just go through his progressions. But why is Howell your quarterback 1? I'm super interested.
I think he has better upside than a Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett kind of feels like his ceiling's like Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr. Like he's real, like he's got an NFL arm. It's just the 8-inch hands are a concern. He doesn't have, like, Burrow had 8-inch hands, but also he was like a laser. Like, dude's accuracy was off the charts. The anticipation was off the charts. Like, Pickett's just not that. Everyone knocked Justin Fields last year for his how conservative he was or how long he held onto the ball. Pickett's the same way. think part of that is maybe indecision. I think most of it is really just not giving up, wanting to get up on a play. Like he can extend a play with his legs, but I think Howell is probably a little bit of better athlete, as we saw that sometimes this year in games. And I think this year he did the best he could do with a very bad offense there. He lost so many playmakers in Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, De'Ami Brown, was it Daz Newsome was the other one, I think.
Mhm.
Uh, and he really had Josh Downs, and that was it. The offensive line was atrocious. I felt like as the year went on, especially after that first game against Virginia Tech, he was kind of forced to have to go through progressions and like have to come off his first read. And I just feel a bit better about him in terms of the upside. I think the upside it's there. The guy's got probably the outside of Malik Willis, the biggest arm in this class. So
Yeah, no, that's interesting, dude. I love the take because I felt like going into the year, Howell was, kind of considered quarterback one along with Rattler. Um, but a lot of people have hopped off and, went to Kenny Pickett. They've went to, Malik Willis, but, you're hanging on with Howell and dude, it's awesome. And I think, so let me ask you this. If it's not Denver, hypothetically, they get Aaron Rodgers, whatever. Do you think Howell will go round one?
oh yeah, I think the NFL is gonna love him. They're gonna love that arm. And just in this quarterback class, like the other guys you're looking at, I don't think Matt Corral goes round one, just because he feels like a product of Lane Kiffin's system. Like everything's manufactured for him. Like he was
I
in the top
agree.
5 of like screens, play actions, and RPOs. Like anything you could do to trick the defense. Like he didn't have actual dropbacks. Desmond Ritter, I just can't get sold on this dude's like accuracy and ball placement. It's like you see his arm flash every now and then, but uh, it, I don't know. I'm getting more and more behind him. Like I think I've moved him up to my quarterback 4. And then there's Carson Strong. Like I still think there's maybe an issue with the knee. I don't know if I've heard it's been
Mhm.
checked out by an NFL guy, but I don't know. We'll find more out next week during Senior Bowl weekend when they talk about it. But also, he's a guy that has like Carson Wentz like pocket presence. So,
Yeah.
nah.
Yes. Strong has always kind of reminded me of like a big arm Nick Foles, like not the most mobile guy, obviously, but he could hang in the pocket and just throw absolute strikes just down the field, deep parts, intermediate, and just kind of his attitude, his leadership and personality. I definitely feel like it would fit a team like maybe Pittsburgh or Detroit if they want to pull the trigger, with that second first round pick later.
Oh
But
yeah, like the arm talent's there for Strong. It's just
100%. Yeah, totally. So moving on to pick number 10 here, we got the New York Jets again. And you got, you got Linderbaum, right? You drafted him before. I think for me, I'm looking at one player here. It's Kyle Hamilton. I mean, the Jets desperately need a safety. And again, we might attack this position in free agency with like a Jesse Bates or something like that. But as of right now, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. And to select a guy in Kyle Hamilton, who I think is one of the best prospects in this draft, just, top to bottom at 10, an extra first round pick. I think at this point, it's really, really difficult to pass that up.
you're telling me that was actually going to be my pick for Washington.
Yeah.
Because again, this is a quarterback class that's really hard to get sold on. And like I know most Washington fans I've talked to, it's like, oh, Ron Rivera, he's not on the hot seat. And it's like, I don't know, Vic Fangio, like Denver got rid of him after 3 years because he couldn't find his franchise quarterback. You're kind of in the same boat. So I feel like if they don't make a play like on one of the guys in free agency or through a trade, then I guess this has to be quarterback. Uh, Even if they don't have to necessarily start this year. So I'm probably going to go with Malik Willis here then.
Okay.
And hopefully you could just like let that guy ride the bench for year 1, just because again, the dude's just not used to, he doesn't function inside a structure. The decision making's iffy, but like the guy has the zip, he has the arm strength, he has the dude can make off platform throws. He was second in college football in forced missed tackles among all players. He was right behind Kenneth Walker. That's nuts for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous. And we saw like how valuable that is with Mahomes and Josh Allen, how they can create with their legs, how they can extend the play. And I think he got a lot better with his accuracy and ball placement this year because the lower body mechanics were a lot better. He was set in his feet. He wasn't throwing off his back foot. So it's just about getting him to do the quarterback things well, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I actually really like the pick. I think Washington is one of those teams that, much like Carolina and Denver could be in the mix for one of those vets. But hey, I mean, if Washington's a team that, brings in one of like the old, kind of like what the original plan was with Fitzpatrick, just kind of bring a guy like that in for 1 year. Now all of a sudden Malik doesn't have like that day one pressure, like, oh, he has to be out there starting and taking first team reps. He could kind of have that Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love kind of season where he's just on the bench, learning, not necessarily on the fly, but kind of taking it day by day, learning, just being an NFL pro and learning the fundamentals.
yeah, if anything, it's like Ron Rivera is like, hey, this is my guy. Just let us develop him. Give
Yeah.
me a year. If anything, that'll create longevity. Because I mean, just coaches, even quarterbacks now, they have short leashes of like, oh, you're not performing. Ta ta, bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's crazy. So moving on to pick 12, we get the Minnesota Vikings. I think I think for me, I'm gonna go Ahmad Gardner. I think it's spot number 12.
Ooh,
It's
lost in the
pretty.
sauce.
Yeah, right. I know Gardner, man. I think you can maybe make the argument he's a little undersized, but I just love how he attacks. I mean, he's in constant attack mode, and the way he tackles, and the way he plays, defense. The way even if the ball isn't coming his way, he still just has that aggressive nature about him, and I really, really like him. And I think with Minnesota right now, Pat Pete was on a 1 year deal. Jeff Glatt, yeah, the whole like unfortunate situation with them. So I think Gardner at spot 12 here to Minnesota could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he put on size this year. He got up to 200 pounds, so he's not exactly a stick anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
never allowed a touchdown in his collegiate career.
Yeah.
Thing of beauty. Yeah, Cleveland Browns. Listen, Baker, he's on the the 5th-year option. You got to give him no excuses. It's like, hey, you're healthy now. Prove you're our franchise quarterback. Sounds like Jarvis Landry's not going to be there. I'm taking Garrett Wilson. He's my current quarterback one or wide receiver one. The dude's probably just the most complete receiver in terms of he's a route runner. He's a guy that can create after the catch. Just like him a ton.
Yeah, no, I would agree. They lose Beckham. I think I don't really know how much the Stefanski offense like values wide receivers, but I think it's spot number 13. If you have the opportunity to go land the best wide receiver, like you have your choice between all of the wide receivers in this class, and you could go get Garrett Wilson, just a dynamic playmaker that'll, especially like do a lot of really, really good things in the short passing game. I think that's tough to pass up. But Baltimore here, Baltimore's tough because this is another spot where I felt like Linderbaum could go. So I think honestly for the Ravens, maybe you can go tackle. I think I'm going to go Trevor Penning from Northern Iowa, just a
He's a
big
good
body
fit
guy.
for that scheme.
Yeah, big body guy, and I feel like he could be just plug and play day one starter at right tackle.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to play him early because you might get like Spencer Brown treatment this year, where it's like he's not a polished prospect just yet. There's a lot raw about him, but like the upside's like immense with him. And I mean, honestly, that's a really good scheme for him to go into.
Yeah, I think really like if Penning is the selection here, what other option do you have if you're Baltimore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, would you maybe
top
maybe
guy
you could,
off your board?
yeah, right on.
Yeah. So the Eagles, I don't know what you're gonna do with their pick at 16. But I've been in the I like the idea of them going with a receiver with one of these picks. You got 3 first-round picks, you gotta use them somewhere. So if you're gonna maximize Jalen Hurts, what he does well is he throws a pretty deep ball. Get him a guy that has a good catch radius. Get him a guy that can just go up and get it. I'm going with Treylon Burks. His size and speed combination is just nuts. I think he's going to test out like a freak. He's drawing comparisons to A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Chase Claypool, Debo Samuel. Like, I don't know how many good receivers you can be comped to. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, Burks is an absolute freak, man. I mean, I look at Philly. like, yes, they have Devontae Smith and whatnot, but like Arcega Whiteside hasn't really worked out. Rager hasn't really
Yeah.
worked out. And another thing that I like about, Burks in Philly is, like, of course, like the playmaking ability, but I just feel like he's such an easy target to get the football to. Like Hurts doesn't have to be like pinpoint accurate, really like threading the needle. Like you could kind of just throw it in his vicinity and he's going to make plays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so with 16, you went with Burks. I think I'm going to go defense here and go Andrew Booth from Clemson. Steven Nelson is on a 1-year contract. I love Darius Slay, but I think they might need a little bit more depth at corner. So Booth for me, I mean, I'm not as high on Booth as a lot of people out there. I mean, some, have Booth as like their CB1. I don't know if I would go that far, but he's still a great prospect. And I mean, you're looking at the middle of the first round here, and Philly has 3 first-round picks, so like they can afford to take a swing.
Oh yeah. Take multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the Chargers, this one's tough. I feel like they go a lot of different areas, but like George Karlaftis just kind of fallen here, I think is a really good fit. He's a guy that's very explosive. He's very strong. Brandon Staley, he likes gap penetrators like Jeremy Tillery. He ain't exactly great. So Karlaftis guy, you could kick outside the 5 tech, inside the 5 tech. Just it's great value here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, depending on like which board, I guess you kind of look at, some people are really, really high on Karlaftis. Yeah. So, dude, some people are like love him, like top 5, top 5 prospect. And then some other guys are like, oh, maybe he's a first round pick. It's interesting with Karlaftis because he definitely has like, flaws that you like, clear flaws. But I mean, you look at the pressures, you look at, quarterback hits and whatnot, and how much Purdue kind of relied on him on the defensive line. I think, again, middle of the first round, you make a great point. It's just great value.
Yeah,
But with
he's
this,
a lot of that's gonna like for him if he doesn't test out as explosive as people think. Yeah, he's gonna fall because he doesn't have ideal length. He's not a bendy edge guy. So
yeah, he does. Dude, he plays with a really, really high motor, though. I will say,
yeah.
like, I think that will make up for, the some of the weaknesses. But it's spot number 18. We have the New Orleans Saints. And this one's tough, honestly, because it's like you don't know who the head coach is going to be. You don't know who the quarterback is going to be. Will the team like go into full rebuild mode? Are they going to try to go like, stay all in? I think they're $70 million above the cap. So I'm looking at the board and and I agree with you. I don't think Matt Corral is going to go in the first round. I look at him as more of like a day 2 kind of guy. And I do love Carson Strong. I really, really do. It's just tough because I don't know who the head coach and like what offensive scheme is going to be there. And I feel like with Strong, you kind of have to have a specific one in place, like a vertical down the field one. Maybe wide receiver. I think honestly here, or maybe, you know what? I think I might go corner Trent McDuffie. That's who I think I'm going to roll with, because Marshawn Lattimore could get dealt. I mean, he's on a 5-year contract, which I think is like mid 90s, like 5 years, $96 million. It's something crazy like that. If the Saints want to, kind of bring in a brand new coaching staff and, part ways with Lattimore, not only will you get like a solid haul, but you're going to be clearing a lot of cap. And then McDuffie's a pretty versatile player who can fit in either scheme, or like a zone-based scheme or a man-based scheme. So I think McDuffie might be considered a little bit of a reach, but I think with so much uncertainty, you do?
I think McDuffie's top 20.
Okay.
Yeah, the NFL might not like him because of length, but like, dude, in like cover 2 or like quarter schemes, like the guy's gonna be shut down. His instincts are next level.
Yeah, the burst, dude. The burst, especially like breaking out of zone coverage. It's crazy.
Yeah, apparently he like ran like 100 meters in high school too.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like initially I was like, yeah, this guy's got a good short area burst, but apparently the long speed is there. Like he is a guy that can mirror guys pretty easy. He just doesn't play a physical brand of football, but it's fine.
Yeah.
The Eagles, they haven't gone linebacker in 40 years. You got 3 first-round picks. It might be about the time. Their linebacker core is pretty bad. I love the idea of Devin Lloyd in Jonathan Gannon's scheme.
Mhm.
Specifically opposed to like a Nakobe Dean. I think with Gannon's scheme, like the linebacker typically played zone about 70 to 75% of the time. So getting a guy that has that huge wingspan that could just clog passing lanes just by being there. I'd rather like a Nakobe Dean go to like more of a man heavy coverage scheme that asks like the linebackers to cover the tight ends, the slots, the run backs out the backfield. But yeah, no, I think Lloyd's gonna translate real well to the NFL.
I do too, man. He's a freaking tackling machine.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. So let me just find Lloyd on the little thing here. All right, cool. So moving on to pick number 20, Pittsburgh Steelers. There has been, I don't know if you've seen like the recent rumors that Mike Tomlin might not want to roll with a rookie quarterback next season and kind of do this rebuild, and he's kind of high on Haskins and stuff like that.
Oh man.
I think I think for the sake of this mock, I don't want to just buy into that and just say, oh, well, they're not going to be taking a quarterback and let's just move on and like look elsewhere. I think Carson Strong would fit that offense with Matt Canada at the helm. So, they have the playmakers, assuming Juju could possibly, be back. You're looking at Smith-Schuster, Claypool, Najee Harris, Freiermuth, Deontay Johnson. I think that's enough talent for a rookie quarterback to kind of step in and just be the point guard of the offense. So for me, I think I'm going to roll with Strong here.
All right. Ooh, New England Patriots. This is always a tough one because they're probably trading this pick down.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be picking here. But man, this is tough because like David Ajabo being on the board, it's like it's hard to pass up on that. But I really, really like the idea of them getting another receiver for Mac Jones, and I think a guy like Drake London would be fantastic. Huge catch radius. He led all of college football in contested catches, 19 and 28 on contested catches. He was before he went down with the injury. He had the most forced missed tackles in college football. He's been comped to like Brandon Marshall, Mike Evans. So given him that guy that could like really realistically win everywhere, but more importantly on the short to intermediate parts of the field, I think would be huge. That they need more pizzazz in that offense. So
Yeah, and London's a guy who I feel like, Mac Jones can just huck the ball up to, and he's going to come down with the football, so I actually really like that. I wasn't thinking about that really like as a potential option, but dude, you make a great point, man. I think London, I mean, as a Jet fan, like I don't want this to happen, but I really like Drake. I think he's kind of being a little underrated right now. But I mean, he could win 1-on-1. He's an instant red zone threat, and he gives Mac just an easy target to throw to. But next up,
NFL is going to love that size. 6'5", 210, 215.
He's massive, dude. He's massive. But yeah, we got the Raiders up next. It's spot number 22. Quick question. And of course, like we don't know who the head coach and stuff like that is going to be. Do you think this team moves off of Derek Carr, or do you think they kind of continue to roll with him?
Man, that's such a tough question. I feel like if they were going to move off from Derek Carr, they would have done it like years ago. At this, and it sucks. I feel like Derek Carr has taken a very mediocre team, a very mediocre offense, and made them, well, mediocre. This team would have been like a 3 to 4 win team without him. It's just that deprived of talent. I feel like we haven't really seen like peak Derek Carr since the injury. And I don't think it's because of the injury. I think it's just been the lack of talent, lack of a good offensive line, lack of playmakers. And he's right now, I mean, his contract's pretty team friendly. Do you really want to move on from that? Maybe you feel like if you make just a few moves, you can.
Yeah. They were a playoff team last year.
Yeah. It's a real tough call, man. Real tough call.
So I think I'm in the same boat. I think I honestly would hang on to Derek at least for one more season.
Yeah.
So, especially with, a couple guys off the board here, and Pickett and Strong and Willis and stuff, and Howell, I think you just kind of play it safe. And you either go with, I mean, for me, you got to go in the trenches, and it's either going to be Kenyon Green or Jordan Davis. But I think I'm going to go with Jordan Davis, honestly. I think yeah, it just provides more depth on the interior of the off or in the defensive line. And just dude, he is a massive human being. Like I really like Davis, and I'm not really sure where he's going to fall. I was reading a mock draft, I think it was a couple days ago. It had Davis going in the top 10, 9 actually to Denver. So I don't know. At spot number 22, I think it's pretty good value with the again uncertainty at the quarterback position.
Oh yeah. This is David Ojabo for the Cardinals. Like
Mhm.
Chandler Jones, free agent. I think they also, I think what is it, Marcus Golden? Is there other guy? I think he's a free agent. So Ojabo, dude, he's got the explosiveness, he's got the length the NFL loves. He's a bit raw. Like he didn't become a starter until like week 5, week 6 of this season. So the sample size, or at least the significant snaps, are very small. He was often taken off the field because he was like so against the run. But like that upside, that pass rushing upside, is just too hard to pass up at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Ojabo, like super talented guy. I think if he gets with the right defensive staff and they have a chance to work with him for maybe like 2 years, he could definitely become like a top 10 pass rusher in the NFL. Like he has that much talent. But at the same time, it's like if he gets into, a defense where the scheme might not be the best, or like they fire the entire staff after year 1 or something, I think it could be a little disappointing. But next up for the Cowboys here, this one's tough, dude. I mean, I feel like their offensive line is kind of up there in age, and Kenyon Green is sitting right here.
Oh man, that's good. I like that pick. I'm a big Kenyon Green guy.
But it's yeah, dude, me too. But I think edge, man, like I think not only would it just help, but you have the whole Lawrence situation. Like, will he be on the Cowboys next season? I think you need somebody else to kind of free up Micah Parsons. But honestly, I think I think getting the running game going is more important right now. Dan Quinn's going to have the defense rolling. I think I'm going to go with Green.
Ooh, man, Buffalo Bills. This one's a bit tougher. Hmm. Oh man, the Bills. The Bills are weird because offensively they seem just primed and ready. Maybe just add like some guard talent, like through free agency. They could probably do that. If anything, they need to add like secondary, like more corners. Like that team was so gassed. Like, and without like Tre'Davious White, you're left with, well, Levi Wallace, he's a free agent, and then Dane Jackson, who was a year or two ago, late day 3 pick. So it feels like
Yeah,
corner. Yeah.
no, yeah,
Oh.
he came onto the scene, Dane Jackson,
Oh yeah.
like late in the year.
I wouldn't mind replacing Tremaine Edmonds either. He's a guy that's just so lost in coverage. Like for as athletic as he is, he shouldn't be late to plays in coverage. Like he got beat over the top relentlessly in that Kansas City game. But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go with Roger McCreary, a guy that's another guy that could play either man, zone. He could play press, he could play off. He was a ball hawk this year. He's put up 2 good years of production, so I don't think he's gonna like be a test out like a wonderful athlete like your Derek Stingley or Andrew Booth, but I think he's gonna be a good enough athlete for the corner position, especially for Sean McDermott.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I really think if Trey White played in that game, man, Buffalo would have walked away. I mean, that it was so close. It was, with the whole OT
It
thing,
was
but
so wild, dude.
one of the best games that I've seen all season. I was shocked. Like my jaw was on the floor.
What a playoff weekend.
Yeah, it was insane, man. But Tennessee, spot number 26. I feel like they need help at linebacker, but a part of me really wants to go with a wide receiver that can hurt them down the field. And Jamison Williams is sitting here. And I think because Tannehill's under contract for, I think Vrabel will have the defense playing well, and you can go get linebacker help in round 2. And of course, you can make that argument for wide receiver. But I think with Jamison Williams having that injury in the season, or in the back half of the season, and he's here at spot number 26, I don't think I think if Williams did not get hurt, he would go way before this. So I think because of the injury, Tennessee pulls the trigger and they go with Jameson Williams.
Oh, no, dude, I like him. It won't surprise me if he still goes top 20.
Yeah.
The guy's just so sudden. I think I'm just gonna assume Tom Brady's back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's a very different player without AB, without Chris Godwin, who's gonna be off the franchise tag this year. So getting someone that could really separate, I think, is key. And Chris Olave is one of the best separators in this class. Great route runner, legit burners. So. Yeah, I think that's going to be prime, trying to replace what you got there. They have Jalen Darden, but he's a guy that was beat up his rookie year and really just played special teams. So, and he's a 4th rounder. So,
right. Yeah, no, it's I think Olave is one of these guys too that could just step in immediately. And plus we don't know if Godwin's going to be back either. So yeah, dude, I love that pick. But next up we got Green Bay, 28. I mean, for me, I'm thinking it's tough because I feel like Green Bay, obviously we don't know what's going on with Rodgers and whatnot. And same with wide receiver, like if Adams hits the open market or, and I think they have, a couple other free agent wide receivers as well. But I mean, Williams is gone, Olave, Wilson, London is gone. Let me see who's on the board at wide receiver. I mean, maybe you can make an argument for, I don't know, actually Jahan Dotson's here. But I also feel like I'm going to go with Jahan Dotson. It's time that Green Bay actually invests in the wide receiver position. If Rodgers isn't there and it's Jordan Love, you have to make his life a little easier. Yeah, I think Dotson's a guy who can hurt you in all 3 facets of the passing game.
Very nice. Cincinnati Bengals. I would love to go offensive line, but the value is just not there. All the it's mainly the guard spot too, man. That got blown up. Jeffrey Simmons had a field day. I imagine Chris Jones is gonna have a field day this weekend. Mm-hmm. So it's just the other guys here for guard, like Darion Kennard, Zion Johnson, they're more mid-day 2 picks. So I'd rather go with value. I don't trust Eli Apple. You never know when he's gonna be bad again. So just saying, he doesn't have a good rap sheet. So I know he's played well this year, but I'm not going to rely on that. So grabbing someone next to Uze, who's been wonderful. I think Kyer Elam, he has the length the NFL loves. You could probably go a lot higher than this. I think this cornerback class, it's going to be much like the receiver class. It's going to be wild how these guys are ranked. It's going to be vastly different from team to team. So I could definitely see Kyer Elam going a lot higher than this. So
dude, I agree. And I don't know which draft site you're looking at, but on the one that I'm looking at, he's ranked in the 40s. I think Elam is
the Draft Network.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm on the same thing here. Dude, I think Elam is a 1st-round pick. I mean, maybe it's because I'm from Florida. I mean, I'm not a Gator fan, but I've watched a lot of them, and he's just, I mean, he can hang by himself on the outside. He doesn't rely on safety help over the top all the time. He can, handle his business there. I like his size. I like his length. And dude, to get him at spot number 29, you can make an argument Elam would come in and start for, tons of teams out there. And Cincinnati, a game away from the Super Bowl, you could go get a starting level corner at pick number 29 and feel good about him. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it was just really penalties this year with him.
Yeah, yep, good point.
Outside of that, dude, he's been a starter since stepping foot on campus for an SEC school. And he's been wonderful. Yeah.
So I'm looking at Miami right here.
Fins up, baby. Fins up.
And Nakobe, are you a Dolphin fan?
I am a Dolphins fan.
Are you really? Got you. So you would probably, you know what? I'll let you take this one away then.
No, I want to sit back and enjoy this.
Okay. All right. So I think Olave, is the number 1 target for me when I look at Miami at spot number 30 here at the bottom of round 1, but obviously he's not there. I think, well, I can't even, I was kind of thinking about, the Brian Flores scheme and everything like that, but he's not even there. It's still crazy to me that the Miami Dolphins fired Flores, and I want to get your thoughts on that. But
Tua's screwed. I'll say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really want to get him some help offensively. I love Waddle. I mean, this guy's an absolute beast. Pickens, I feel like could be an option. at Georgia, but I feel like, gosh, it's just so tough because we don't know who's going to be running the team. It's tough. I like Mechie a lot too, but I mean, his stock could definitely drop a lot. Um, man, it's tough. I mean, look, you got N'Kobe Dean still sitting here on the board. I think Zion Johnson, maybe Jaquan Brisker. I think they're fine at safety. There's still a lot of talent. I mean, I personally really love Jermaine Johnson, and he's versatile. I think, I'll go wide receiver. I'll go with George Pickens because I think he could immediately help out that team. Not saying that I don't think Johnson could, but I think the more pressing need is offensive football.
Oh yeah, wide receiver is huge. I like Pickens. A lot of people forget about Pickens, man.
So what would you grade that pick as a Dolphin fan?
Me, I got a first round grade on Pickens. I think they have to go receiver. I don't like the idea of getting younger on the offensive line. Like Leon Eichenberg got blown up this year, showed, hey, you're a guard. Why are you starting left tackle? We haven't been able to develop the offensive line, and we can't get a fair evaluation of Tua. Like, I'm hoping they go into free agency with all this money, get veteran offensive linemen, just creep back towards average, and then go get playmakers in the draft. Well, I don't care if it's running back. Well, not in the first round.
Yeah.
But yeah, go get like receivers. Like George Pickens is great. I honestly, I'm not a big like Devontae Parker's okay, but I feel like he's a bit overpaid. Like George Pickens, we didn't see him all year because the ACL, and he only got a little bit of time to shine because they played him sparingly at like the last couple of games. But like still, he was making like highlight catches. The dude's a competitor. He'll go up, he'll get it. He's got prototypical X wide receiver size. Like it wouldn't surprise me if someone had him wide receiver 2 or 3 in this class. Like, so I like it. I like the pick a lot.
Awesome, man.
Detroit Lions now. I was too busy enjoying
the thought of Pickens with Tua.
Yeah. I mean, with how many quarterbacks went off the board, I like the idea of being able to get a 5th-year option on a quarterback, but I'm only willing to do that if quarterbacks fell, and that wasn't really the case in this mock. So I feel like I'm kind of out on it. The linebacker position, it's pretty bad. They started guys like oh crap, I can't remember the dude out of Purdue last year. They started him this season.
Yeah, Brooks, Reeves-Maybin.
Yeah, and I mean, they had Anzalone, who wasn't really much of anything. N'Kobe Dean's great value here.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man.
So I feel like this is a Dan Campbell pick too, through and through.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument too for wide receiver. I mean, because it's like
wide receiver though.
I know that I'm looking at that's what I'm saying. Like I'm looking at the positional grouping right now, and there's really not much. Like there's still some solid talent here, but at spot number 31, I just think it's a little too high, and you might have to, trust your board here and go. I mean, the Lions, second worst team in football according to their record. I think they're actually a lot better than that.
Oh yeah.
But they need better players. They need good cornerstones on both offense and defense. So Are you rolling with Dean here?
I am. Safety is a consideration, but Dean's just higher than the other safety talent on my board. Like, I mean, there's Daxton Hill, there's Jaquan Brisker. Both those guys are really good. I mean, they have a pick early in the second round anyway, so we could go safety. And I feel like the rest of the wide receiver group at this point, they're more mid-day 2 to like 3rd round. So
yeah, I would agree with you. So last but not least, we got the Kansas City Chiefs here. And Tyrann Mathieu is going to hit the open market. Maybe he's going to be back. I don't know. But this Chiefs team also needs edge help. I think it's really, for me, either between Jermaine Johnson, a guy from Florida State who I really, really like. I think he's versatile enough to play in either scheme, like a 3-4 or 4-3, or Jaquan Brisker. And I'm a big fan of Daxton Hill. So it's really between those guys. I think, and of course, like these next couple weekends are going to kind of, play out. Hey, maybe the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. I think Johnson might be a little bit more valuable for me. I think he's just so fast, so explosive, tons of production last season with the Knowles. And yeah, I feel good about it.
Oh yeah, no, I think pass rush is a big need. You can't trust Frank Clark. He's been just so wishy-washy, just
Yeah.
streaky. Melvin Ingram, he's on what, a 1-year deal, and plus he's a veteran player, so you don't know when the play will go downhill for him. So it's like, yeah, added more guys on the outside is huge, and that's like a Spagnola guy right there. He likes big, he likes athletic. So yeah, Jermaine Johnson's built like freaking Hulk.
Yeah.
He's got the biggest arms I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, the guy was an absolute monster last year for Florida State. But dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really, really do.
Thanks for having me. I love
Yeah,
talking drafts, so I could do this all day.
yeah, no, dude, I'm it's funny, man. I could do it too. Like, I really want to be like one of those, like I want to be like kind of like your channel, like where I could pump out a mock draft every day. But I don't know. I just feel like for me, I want to get those mocks up every time I feel like there's like a major shift or a major like change, not necessarily with like one player, but like if the quarterback board gets shaken up, say some guys, skyrocketing up the board, and the new coaching staff is like not sold on Davis Mills, and now it's like looking like a quarterback's going to go 3. But yeah, dude, I appreciate it. All of Broshmo's links are down below in the description box. If you aren't subscribed to him, I would highly, highly recommend it. Awesome channel. From top to bottom. It's great. Dude, thanks again, man.
Hey, appreciate you having me. I'm sorry I had to tell you I was a Dolphins fan.
Yeah. You know what? I'm actually not going to
here.
even post this now. I'm going right into the trash.
Oh, man.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.